What is up, Age Groupies? Welcome to another episode of the Age Groupies Podcast, part of the United WeCast Network. I'm Mike Ergo, and along with my co-host Lindsay Hiken, we're here to talk to you about all the things related to endurance sports perspective, about living that multi-sport lifestyle, and to share the random stuff that just pops in our heads. You all can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us agegroupies@gmail.com. And if you guys like the show, please leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it, or wherever you guys get your podcasts. Today for our show, it'll be me, Mike, reading an article I wrote in 2016 called The 5 Bad Fitness Habits I Learned in the Marine Corps. This is just a quick, light article on ways I've injured, overused, misused, all the training I've learned. Anyways, short article. Hope you guys enjoy it. And I will post the actual article in the show notes so you guys can look at all the links and stuff I've used as resources. All right, everyone, enjoy it. And let's get to it. 5 bad fitness habits I learned in the Marine Corps. One needs an ample supply of mental toughness to hack it in the Marine Corps. From day one of boot camp, the emphasis on physical fitness and the tolerance of misery is made clear. There's no getting around it. Weak-bodied young men are turned into PT studs, or at the very least, lose their baby fat. They learn the beauty of the pull-up bar, crunches, and the 3-mile run. At the end of my all-inclusive stay at MCRD San Diego, I lost 30 pounds and could hoist my pale body above the pull-up bar for double-digit reps. Like everyone else, I learned to push past doubts and the mental limits my mind had created for what I could not do. Iron Man's phrase of anything is possible became a mantra even before I knew what a triathlon was. In the fleet, physical training continued. Most mornings we ran a few miles and knocked out a max set of pull-ups. Some days were harder than others, but rest and recovery or easy days were not emphasized and regarded as laziness. When your branch of military views pain as weakness leaving the body, the more pain the merrier. After all, it's not good training until someone throws up. As much as I gained from the Marine Corps approach, sticking to this after I was discharged into the civilian world did not always work well. The physical toll caught up with me, and after a few days or weeks of this, I often found myself mentally or physically burnt out. To make matters worse, I added poor nutrition, binge drinking, and inadequate sleep. See if you can relate to my pattern of exercise. Look in the mirror and feel utter disgust. Thrash myself in a workout. Keep this up for a few days. Suffer muscle tightness, overuse, or pull a muscle. Get hurt, sick, wiped out, and not exercise again for a few weeks or months. Repeat. Why? Many athletes know that training needs to be periodized. Difficult training sessions need to be gradually ramped up at the appropriate pace for the body to absorb the benefits through adequate recovery. Willing myself to a higher level of fitness was not enough by itself. Here are a few of the ways I misused what I learned in the Marine Corps. 1. Go all out every day. This does not work for an extended period of time. Eventually, the body needs time to recover. During the rest days and sleep at night, the body repairs the micro tears in the muscle groups to strengthen and fully absorb the gains of training. This is how we get stronger. Instead, yoga, walking, and stretching are best for recovery days. A great way to track your status is by using a heart rate variability app. Once your baseline HRV is established, a simple 2-minute test will determine if you can train hard, light, or take a day of rest. Some of these apps don't even require a heart rate monitor. They use your phone's camera and flash pressed against your finger. 2. Static stretching before a workout. Static stretches are best used after a workout when the muscles are already warmed up. Before then, cold muscles don't stretch too far, and it's easy to strain or even tear a muscle when forcing it too far. The best approach is dynamic stretching to warm the body up. Horrible but well-intentioned advice to bounce in and out of a hurdler stretch was a fantastic way to pull a hamstring. 3. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Yeah, sure, but you'll die much sooner and live a life of unrealized gains without adequate recovery. Without enough sleep, our bodies cannot repair themselves from the stress of physical exercise. Even after one night of subpar sleep, we can find ourselves craving sugar-laden foods for energy. Mark Sisson outlines the importance of sleep in an article that shows how an increase in sleep translated into faster times for collegiate swimmers and football players doing shuttle runs. But seriously, does anyone really need to be convinced on how refreshed we feel right after a night of quality sleep? To adjust for an early morning workout, I simply go to bed earlier now. Find myself still behind in sleep, I take a 20-minute power nap during the day. 4. Push through the pain. There are a couple types of pain when it comes to exercise. One is the discomfort of lactic acid burning in your muscles from a strenuous effort. The soreness of your butt in the saddle for a long bike ride, or that last rep on the pull-up bar. The second is the pain of overuse. That's shin splints, a stiff IT band, sore knees, a strained back muscle, sprained ankle. This kind of pain isn't weakness leaving the body. It's your body desperately asking you to stop. Sometimes the fix is some mobility work. Sometimes the solution is to rest and re-examine your training regimen. In general, many coaches recommend no more than a 10% increase in training volume each week. 5. I can eat whatever I want and burn it off. This is wishful thinking. While it's true that athletes like Michael Phelps ingest massive amounts of calories while racing, a lifestyle of eating overprocessed junk or consuming empty calories in the form of sodas or alcoholic beverages is not conducive to a fit figure. Overeating junk usually leads to feeling terrible and the need to thrash yourself the next day as punishment. Or maybe that's just me. This makes you ravenous for more junk. See how this can become a vicious cycle? Staying outside of the low-carb, high-carb arguments, many experts agree that eating foods closer to their natural state is a good template for eating. In his book, In Defense of Food, Michael Pollan lays out the case for eating things closer to their natural state. In general, I aim to eat nutrient-dense foods to get the biggest bang for my buck. To simplify it, if you eat garbage as a reward, you'll feel terrible and get fat. Conclusion. The positives I learned in the Marine Corps far outweigh the negatives. Even the list above is mostly a collection of ways I misused a set of skills out of context. The mental toughness required for the infantry and endurance sports alike is the most important asset one can acquire. But once honed, we need to respect our bodies and see fitness and health as a progression. Having patience with the limitations of how much our body can handle, as well as the time and discipline of adequate recovery, is another form of mental toughness. The mindset to withstand the insecurities and voices that tell us we need to thrash our bodies in order to deal with mental discomfort or feelings of inadequacy. As with most things in life, striking the right balance is a matter of continual evaluation. Enjoy the journey.
Alrighty, that concludes today's episode of the Age Groupies Podcast with me, Lindsay Hiken, and my co-host, Mike Ergo. We really hope you enjoyed it. You can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us at agegroupies@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please leave a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, as this really helps us get more exposure while we try to grow this little venture. And of course, if you have friends you think might like the show, please be sure to share it with them. But for now, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.